We're going to show you how to assemble a double tripod, and it's very simple. You only need a couple of wrenches, 7/16, ½ inch, deep well sockets on a cordless screw gun, make it go a lot faster. So it's pretty easy to do. The rope is for later on once it's fully assembled to get it up into the air, and we'll show you that later on as well. But I wanted to show you this part of it all assembled. From the foot platform to the shooting rail is standard, the roof is an accessory. This stuff is easy to do in a shop atmosphere instead of out in the field where you might lose nuts and bolts in the grass. So we like to do this on concrete in your pole barn in the shop if you can do that. If you can drive right to the area where it's going to live eventually, you can just throw this on a trailer and get it out there. This is where most of the assembly, this is the most time consuming part right here. The rest of it, putting the legs, ladders, cross braces together, ½ hour or less, no big deal there. So it's really easy to get this done here. Get the rest of it done in the shop, or I'm sorry, out in the field. But let's go ahead and show you how to get this thing assembled.
So a helpful tip on putting these seats on the pedestals is making sure that you put the bolt from the bottom up instead of from the top down. And that's so when you tighten it down, it doesn't catch right here on the pedestal when you're turning it. You will not be able to turn the seat if you put it in the wrong way. So make sure you put them in the right way. All right, so next step is we got to put the rifle rail supports and the rifle rail together, and the rest of this is all ½ inch nuts and bolts.
Okay, as you're putting the rifle rail on and you have a roof, if you've got a roof with that, you want to make sure that you don't bolt this on quite yet because you've got these 3½ inch plates that come with the roof, and they're going to have to get bolted in here on top of this cradle bracket. So there's 2 per cradle bracket, and you just want to make sure that before you bolt everything tight that you get these in place before you put the roof on, or you're just going to take it all apart and have to redo everything. So make sure you put these on. Okay, so these are all lock nuts on here, so you can only tighten them so far with your bare hands, and you're going to want to leave these loose for right now. You just want the shooting rail in place, but you want to leave these loose because once you go to put the roof supports on, you want to be able to move these so that you can line them up with the roof supports. We're rolling.
These are the roof supports. These are 20 inches. Do not get these confused with the rifle rail supports. Very similar. Differences is length. You don't want these as the rifle rail support. It's important to make sure that you put the washer on top where the bolt goes through it so that it does not pull through the top of the roof. This bolt will go through the plastic if you do not have that washer, so make sure you put that on.
Okay, so a little tip, once you've got this whole thing fully assembled, we've got a box back there we use when we're exhibiting at shows, the hang-on stand display. It's 12 inches tall and it's very handy for when you've got a roof on there for tipping it over to put the legs and ladders and cross braces together. And so we tip it over, make sure that if you can, make sure you get these off of the box. You don't want to really put the supports on there. So we'll show you how this is done. So now all of a sudden it's going to be a lot easier to put these angled legs on the bottom. There's enough room where you can actually assemble the whole thing right now, get it fully assembled and tip it right off of this box. Okay, we've got the legs in, the ladder is in, cross braces are assembled. We're going to attach the cross braces at this point, but you have to pay attention. The sides are different. The sides are different than the back, sides and back, and so they're stamped right on the center hub. You have to look for the word side, and there's two of them, one back. So make sure you put these in the exact orientation you're supposed to. Okay, so now this is where you use the rope. We're going to tie the rope onto the foot platform, run it the length of the ladder and dangle it off to the end. There's going to be one guy on each side by one of those legs on the bottom, one in the middle. We're going to pick it up and start walking it up. The guy with the rope on the other end is going to pull it over when it gets to a certain fulcrum on the top there. So you're just going to walk it up the ladders to a certain point and just pull it over. It's a very quick process.
Thank you. That was close. That was really.
Well, there you go. It didn't take that long at all. I'm going to have to look at all the final edits to make sure, but it looked like it was about 39 minutes to get this whole thing assembled start to finish and up in the air. And if you've assembled some of our competitors' stands, you know it takes 3 times that long just to assemble a competitor's ladder stand. So in less than an hour, one of the guys didn't have much experience on this at all. He'd never assembled one of these. Obviously, 2 of us had had a lot of experience, but it really doesn't take that long at all. I can assemble this whole thing all by myself, but you need that extra muscle to get it up in the air. So we appreciate you watching the video and hope that this was helpful for you to assemble. So there you go. That didn't take very long at all. I'm going to have to look at all the video footage, but I think it was about 39 minutes start to finish to get this whole thing assembled and up in the air. As you all know, if you use some of our competitors' products, it takes 3 times that time to get a ladder stand assembled, and we got this big ass contraption. Do that again, I can't swear.